My name is Will Jacobson. I'm very fortunate to be the head of partnerships here at toggle.ai. What we wanted to do here today on this beautiful Thursday is just have a quick fireside chat with our Chief Technology Officer, Armenak. Armenak, welcome to the first in what is undoubtedly going to be a very well-received series of fireside chats. It's our opportunity to share a little bit about what we're doing, especially from the technological standpoint with all of you. So Armenak, welcome.
Thank you for having me on the show.
We're excited. Armenak is based in our London office. I'm based in our Portland, Oregon office, but today we find ourselves in the headquarters in wonderful New York City to share all this with you. So let's kick it off. Everyone is talking about generative AI. There's a ton of buzz about large language models. There are startups coming every day building in this space. As the CTO of a longtime AI company, how do you view Toggle's differentiation? Is it just Toggle using ChatGPT, building on top of, or what really makes us special?
Well, I'll start by answering that everyone is not using already ChatGPT. Everyone should be using ChatGPT. But in terms of the product that we build, it is not ChatGPT. It does utilize the GPT language model under the hood, but it does a bit more than that. I can detail more if you want. For the first part, yes, generative AI and AI has taken the market by storm, and everyone's talking about it. And we can't deny that there's a certain momentum in it. And for us at Toggle, it's nothing new. We've been doing this for over 4 years now. So we had language models, not so large. We had generative AI. We had AI since day one. So for us, this is really good because it's a natural continuation of what we're doing, and it naturally blends into our product.
So I see there are a lot of groups that are just building a new interface on top of ChatGPT. And what's exciting for me and what's been exciting this week as we've met with a lot of clients is kind of that recognition of, no, this is a whole new different way of doing it. It's leveraging the input mechanism and the delivery mechanism of large language models, but still bringing to the surface this incredible power of Toggle's analytics. Would you say that's accurate?
Hard to disagree.
We're naturally predisposed to be very positive people here at Toggle, but what are people getting wrong about LLMs and generative AI?
I think the biggest issue today is people are GPTizing, as I want to say. I don't know if it's a word. I don't think it's a word.
Should be.
Should be a word. They're GPTizing everything. They're trying to put ChatGPT into every single product. And I think that is the problem. Everyone sees that there's a big wave coming up. The VCs are interested in this. They want to spend money on this. And then it's just not something for everything. Like it may look really nice in a demo, but if we're spending all this time to build something that maybe a user or the users are going to use just once, then I think it's a waste of time. LLMs and generative AI are there to better the experience of the users, to better capabilities, to surface the capabilities that a company already has. It's not a solution on its own.
Makes sense. So we've been talking with a ton of clients this week. Seems like you and I and a couple others have walked all of Manhattan probably 3 times. And we're not just in New York because we love what the humidity does to our hair, but because there is such a need. What do you think of kind of the challenges or how should these large financial institutions be thinking about trying to build these new generative AI solutions?
Well, first of all, on the steps, yes, definitely. I did have my 10,000 steps by 11 a.m. every day. So I thank Manhattan for that. And it's very, very straight grid type of city that you can just walk straight for hours and sometimes get lost. But we're not here to discuss that, as you say. I think it's important for all financial institutions, but also all institutions in general, to basically start diving into AI and generative AI. I think the more these big financial institutions and big banks and wealth advisors start dabbing into this, I think the more they'll appreciate what we've done. And that way it's an easier sell for us to tell them, yep, we've done it already, it's working today, it's not something that is going to be working tomorrow or someday. It is a current solution.
Well, and I think it came up a few times, the excitement that we saw with clients when they looked at, we show them the product that we have, but it's not an off-the-shelf product. We have something already built, as we've demonstrated. It's been in operation for quite some time. But our ability, and I like what you did in a couple of meetings of showing how we could quickly on the fly integrate some of their functionality so that they start to view us as not just a vendor that gives them a one-time product, but as their partner on this road towards kind of full generative AI adoption.
I think it's important to place yourself as a partner rather than just a vendor. Because if you're just trying to sell a generic software that you're going to just resell the same with the same data, with the same underlying capabilities to every other competitor of every large financial institution, you're not going to sell that many licenses. Right. Whereas partnering with these institutions allows us to make sure that not only we're leveraging their own platform or their own data, but also their own capabilities that they have built internally. This is easy for us to integrate because we've had this architectural decision from day one where we knew that in order to tap into this market, we need to be pluggable. So we need to be able to plug data, to plug capabilities, to plug basically the internal know-how of each customer to bring out the best value from that.
It's almost like you have this hexagonal architecture, a honeycomb, if you will.
Yes.
That you can just plug in. Yeah.
That is exactly what it is. We do think of everything as being an hexagonal architecture approach, from the most basic single service to the whole cluster in itself, so that at every level you can integrate different types of things.
Makes sense. On the technology side, I mean, we've been in some really interesting kind of data science meetings with some of the top kind of minds on Wall Street and beyond, and I think fared incredibly well there. Stepping away from the technology, talk about the team behind the technology, right? As the CTO of an incredibly fast-growing company, how do you see the team you have? How do you see the team you want? How do you see the type of people that fit very well in a Toggle?
I think, first of all, I want to thank the whole team behind this, because it's not an easy job. It's not a one-man job, and it's definitely something we do appreciate. So for me, there's one rule, and I have to abide by that on a daily basis, is that we must empower these people. And every single one of them must feel empowered, but also must be empowered. It's only natural that when you hire smart people, you allow them to make smart decisions.
I know we're running out of time here. I want to end kind of the last question. I'm in a really fortunate position here at Toggle, being able to talk to all of our clients and show demos. A demo I showed, a month ago now looks dramatically different to kind of what the 6 demos I had already today. Just everything seems to be accelerating in terms of functionality, really exciting use cases. As the kind of CTO with your, with control over what comes next, can you kind of maybe tease or preview something that you're really excited about from a functionality standpoint?
I mean, definitely, of course. Just wanted to say that we're working at an incredible pace. It's because the technology and the environment is also shifting at an incredible pace. We can't wait a few months to see what's going to happen or what is something new. Can it work? Does it work? We're trying to stay in line as new capabilities emerge, like the most recently to be able to basically command functions via ChatGPT. And it's really exciting because every day there's something new coming out. Like one of the most exciting features, it might be very basic, but at the same time, it's really exciting. So you're on a chart and you want to plot the GBP/USD rate when Tony Blair was Prime Minister. And you do exactly that by just typing exactly what I said into a box. And that's it. Another quite exciting tool we have is like, how do you leverage AI in order basically to make sure that your portfolio is healthy? Or what is it that I have to look out for in my portfolio? So under the hood, the system asks this question, plain language, English or other language as well, goes into your portfolio, each holdings, checks the performance, crosses it with our insights, checks that there's nothing to worry about on the news that it missed, and then lets you know what positions require your attention in mere seconds.
Right. Yeah, it's a little, to borrow kind of a phrase relevant to your favorite sport, it's a little inside baseball. But I got to show this off to my father-in-law. We asked in Spanish, I said, show me the price of the Argentine peso since Nestor died, right? And I wrote it in Spanish. And it recognized that I was asking about the former Argentine president, right, without his last name, and immediately charted them. These aren't things that people could have never done in the past. But it's 20 minutes of looking, okay, what exactly are the dates? What can I put in? You multiply that 95% productivity savings and the thousands of times you're looking at something in the investment world times the millions, hundreds of millions of people that are active. And that's what I think is the most exciting part of what we're doing.
I mean, this example is good because it showcases how we can just quickly transform known dates. You could have Googled that day. It would have taken you a bit more, but we could also leverage the in-house knowledge. Like, can you plot me, I don't know.
Since our analyst upgraded the stock,
exactly.
what's the performance been? Or
exactly.
Show me the volume in this stock since this analyst initiated coverage. The applicability is interesting. I know we're out of time. Next time we will do this from Paris or London, as long as I'm the interviewer, or Singapore, Tokyo, or Hong Kong. Any last words for the folks at Toggle, and certainly you can let them know where to find us.
Well, find us on toggle.ai, and yeah, look out for exciting stuff. Thank you for having me, Will, and see you next time.
Thank you, Armenak. Thank you, everyone, for watching.